A new tour company in town is offering Americans a taste of Ireland that's a little off the beaten path. Joining us this morning from Inroads Ireland is co-founder Phil Ryan. Thanks so much for being with us.
Oh, thanks for having me, Sarah.
During the break, we were just talking about, my experience in Ireland, the 1 week, but you're actually from there.
Yes, born and raised in Dublin, and I've been traveling around the country since I'm, well, a wee nipper, as it were. So, one of my favorite things to do was to kind of hitch around and take these little roads here, take these roads there, and kind of chat to old guys and collect stories along the way.
Those are the best kinds of trips,
yes,
I think.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what got you interested when you moved here and heading back.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about, the way we were talking about your company, Inroads Ireland, is that it's off the beaten path. So you don't want to go with the big tour buses.
Yeah, and that's really kind of what makes us unique, is that we really want to get people to have an authentic and a real experience of Ireland. So we keep the tours small, groups of less than 20. We use these small wee buses that can get on the real little back roads of Ireland, and you know yourself from being there, some of these roads are, they're pretty harrowing, so it's a good thing to leave the driving to me because I'm on my way around. And also with these buses, we're just a little bit higher, so you get above a lot of the little stoneways that kind of line the roads of Ireland, so you can really get a good view of what you're seeing. And then of course you have me along the way to sort of explain all of this to you as you go around.
Well, and the thing about driving, too, I have to say, we were brave enough to rent a car, and if there's one thing I could change about my experience in Ireland, it would probably be if someone, a native, could have driven us around. It's a beautiful thing. Now, you're also talking about being able to do this relatively affordably.
Oh, yeah, and that includes your transport, that includes your B&Bs, locally owned guest houses, and we stay in small towns, so so money goes into the local economies. We want to be very respectful to local economies along the way. And also then you get me explaining everything to you. You don't have to sort of buy a whole bunch of books and research this stuff yourself. I'm there to show you what Ireland really has to offer.
And I want to talk about what you just mentioned, staying in B&Bs. It's very different from the experience of staying in a B&B in the States. Yeah,
well, B&Bs in Ireland, they sort of came from people who had like a spare room in their house, and then they sort of developed over the years to people who maybe added on another couple of bedrooms. So usually there's like 5 to 6 rooms in these places, and then some of the smaller guest houses are sort of expansions of them, B&B owners who then decide, well, we need a few extra people to stick in here, so we'll add on another section. So they're the kind of places that we really want to take people to, and you really get a much better feel for what Ireland's about by staying in those places. And
they often cook a fantastic breakfast. There's nothing like waking up to the smell of a breakfast and that fresh oatmeal that's cooked long overnight.
Yes, yeah, porridge that we like to call it in Ireland, and in fact, you get like a lot of eggs, particular kinds of sausage that they make in Ireland, and then of course a hearty cup of tea to get you going on the day too.
And now, I know some of the people traveling with you, you have these packages that are at a great price, but then also they have to kind of go out and find their own airfare. Do you have tips for people on finding good airfare to Ireland? That's a hard one.
Yeah, well actually at the moment Aer Lingus is offering a really good deal. For around $200 you can fly to Ireland.
No way.
Yeah, so get onto Aer Lingus at the moment and book your trip now, and match that up with an Inroads Ireland tour.
Now is the time to do that. I know sometimes airfare can be really tough overseas. We're looking right now at a graphic here so you can look up more information. What a wonderful trip. If you've never been overseas, if you've never been out of town, I would say Ireland is the place to go. Go to inroadsireland.com, and you can also call 238-7326. Phil, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun.